From mud to man to madness. This time, it's gone too far.
The Evolutionary War, a cross-annual event beginning in April from Marvel. Welcome, dear listeners, to our podcast. Jeff and Rick present Unpacking the Power of Power Pack,
where we journey through each issue of the most underrated Marvel series of the 80s while drinking beer.
analyzing awesome and amazing adolescent adventures, and absorbing alcohol.
I am Jeff.
And I am Rick.
I'm gonna make him a random banter he can't refuse.
Random banter time, buddy. Talk to me about random things, but only in a bantering way.
Well, I'm gonna leave the banter and take the cannoli.
Hey!
I'm quite familiar with what that is from. That is an excellent choice. And if anybody does not know what that's from, you got some movies to watch, my friends.
It is in all of them.
It actually is.
It is actually in all three of them. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but also I can think you've got the pastiche of it that is in like The Freshman, and that is in Zootopia, and you've just seen that over and over and over and over. They've utilized it. Yeah,
it's because it was in the first one, and then it kind of got ran with and becomes a cultural kind of phenom kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, hey, it's an old meme. Let's just throw that in there, and everybody can use it however they want in the future.
Yep, you cannot kill that meme. It is everywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
This is awesome news. This is our 50th episode.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, technically you could say it's 52 because we have a couple of Mephisto ones in there.
Well, technically
technically we could also say that we've also got some extra ones too because we do our Patreon.
Yeah.
But this is our 50th episode
on the main show. Yes.
So
with none of the extras.
So bravo to us.
Bravo to us.
We are half century.
We are. Man, I'm feeling it in my bones. In fact, I'm so proud of us for doing this that I wrote a song.
Oh dear God.
Yep. So I'm going to play the song for you and for everyone here. 50. 50. 50. I call that song 50.
Don't worry. In post, I'll make that clapping sound like it's like
just a lot of people. A lot of people.
All of the people that are in our live studio audience.
Oh my goodness! We got to pull back the curtain because the curtain pulled back, and we are in a giant auditorium filled with very, very quiet people. They're very polite. Thank you, audience.
No problem. Yes, they're all just amazed by that.
Yeah, in awe. They'll probably be in awe and just shocked quiet by the quality of that song.
That was a
for the entire show.
That was a little skit you did there. That was a little bit you did there.
I did a little thing. I'm celebrating our 50.
Huzzah!
Yes, I think everybody's 50th anniversary is a short, dumb song.
I think so.
Not paper or gold, but create a bad song.
From now on, it will be. Whatever this diamond celebration business is, it ain't gonna matter anymore. We don't care none about that.
Exactly. We write our own rules.
Getting back to other random banter stuff, I know I put this on Twitter, and I had a couple different places in social media. And if you happen to watch the Longbox Crusade doing it live stream episode, about a month prior to when this episode has launched, then you probably saw me talk about it. But this last weekend, I went to the Imaging Comics partner signing at I Like Comics. I went down there. I did not have a ticket, which I kind of regret.
Yeah, no ticket.
No ticket. So I was in the non-ticket line, and I got down there about 10 o'clock after dropping my daughter off at another comic book store to do a little art class, and stood in line there for about 3 hours with a few people, not moving. And I was like, I gotta go pick up my daughter. And the guys were really nice. They're like, come on back. We got your place. Went over, picked her up, came back. Got back in my place in line. They hadn't moved. In total, I was there about 4 hours waiting in line.
Aye.
We finally got in, and the artists who were there, by the way, were Todd McFarlane, Jim Valentino, Robert Kirkman, Eric Larson, Mark Silvestri, and Eric Stevenson. And they knew that they were, running up against, getting everybody in. So they said, we'll be here an extra hour. Really nice of them. That was the latest they could be there. And then they, some had to still catch their flights. Robert Kirkman came down the line. He was trying to get everybody signed. So he was just walking down the line. And then Todd McFarlane started to come down the line. Now, they were only signing one book each. So one of the guys that held my place said, hey, if your daughter, comes back, I will pay her $5 to hold on to this other comic that I want Todd McFarlane to sign, and we'll see if we can get him to sign it. I'm like, great, not a problem. So Todd McFarlane's coming down the line, and I'm like telling my daughter, hey, put away this comic that you have. And she had brought a comic that she had worked on with her cousin. Well, it's like 20 pages. It was like her and her cousin did a jam session over Christmas break, and they were both coloring they were both drawing and writing the story.
Little stapled together, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper one.
Oh, yeah. And they did a lot of work on this. So she had brought it to this class she went to, and then she was looking at it in the store while we're waiting. Well, I was like, go ahead and put that away, because I need you to hold this comic. So she's trying to put it away. Todd McFarlane comes down the line and says, wait, what is that? Let me see it. She pulls it out. He starts looking through it, just stops dead. And he's looking through it, asking her questions, how old she is, how she made this with her cousin, and giving her encouragement, telling her, keep on doing this. You're doing a good job. If you're creating like this at your age, telling what you can do. Just really amazing stuff, really interacting well with her. And then gets out his pen, says, to Carrie, you're awesome, right on the cover of the book.
That's cool.
And then, signed our books and moved along. And I got a couple pictures of it, and it was just amazing. So, I've always loved Todd McFarlane's art. I've loved his storytelling. I always thought he's done some amazing stuff. I had my Spider-Man #1 from the 1990s there. The silver cover. I had him sign that one. It is up in a place of honor, and I've got this great memory now of that interaction with him and my daughter, and him signing that book for me. It was wonderful. It was really wonderful.
That is super cool. I'd be loath to have and then he saw my daughter with this comic, and he took it out of her hands, and he said, "This isn't mine," and threw it away.
And he said he wasn't going to sign it, and he didn't sign her book. But he did.
I saw that on the picture that he didn't sign it.
He didn't sign it, but he wouldn't sign anything that's not his. But he wrote her a note.
That is amazing and super cool.
And it just really is nice to see that. Amazing steward of the industry.
Yeah.
Really making an effort. And I saw other comments on, kind of coming back in my social media post that, people saying he gave my son a bunch of fist bumps, and he interacted with my kid this way. And it really is nice to see that.
It's really great to get. So many people will eat your dreams.
Yeah.
They will poo-poo whatever idea or dream you have. I've experienced this in my own life to the point where I was like, I'm not telling people what my thoughts are on things because I'm tired of being told, well, that's stupid.
Right.
So to have somebody actively come in and just boost you up, it took a little bit of their day. Yeah. And they were willing to go, I'm going to spend this time, money on a stranger that I may, 5 minutes after that's done, I've probably moved on and kind of forgotten about it. But she can hold on to that forever, which is really, really cool. But I have a very important question for you in regards to that. Did she make $5?
Yes, she did.
Okay, high five on that, my friend. She earning her keep.
Yes, she did. As soon as they got done with us, went to the next guy. He's like, oh yeah, he came really slyly. He's like, here's your $5, girl. Another thing
give me some of that goody good.
Talk about awesome fan base. Yes, we're standing outside in the cold on concrete, and everybody just was like, we're having a good time. It's great. It's fan. The people at I Like Comics, oh my God, they're wonderful. They brought in some coffee. They were coming down the line, giving people coffee.
Oh, cool.
They were trying to make the experience as good as possible. The owner even came out and said, hey, I want to tell everybody outside, we're running behind. They probably are not going to get to you. Just FY, and everybody just stood in line and just
said, okay.
Yeah, we aren't going to leave.
Yeah, we weren't going anywhere anyway, so thanks for the bonus. I think the owner's name is Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
And I've met him several times before. That used to be a comic shop that I'd go to in Vancouver. No, that is super cool. So yeah, Chris seems to have some ins with the industry, and the fact that he got the first Image Comics creators, a cohab going on, that's pretty darn sweet.
Yeah, I got some nice books signed, and they're all up on my wall now, and I'm like, yay!
That's neat. That is actually really cool.
Yeah, that's my story I was going to talk about. How about you, sir?
Okay, well, let me kind of give you an insight of how my year's going so far. So, we talked about this on the last Patreon episode. It's January 1st. It's a brand new year, brand new everything, blah, 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 blah. So, I'm over at Rick's, and I managed to slam my head between a door and a shelf unit in his garage in an impossible manner. So, my ear's still kind of tender from that. So, I'm pretty sure I broke some cartilage. So, but that was the first. And then let's advance up now. So for Christmas, I got some chocolate-covered butter toffee. Sounds good, right?
Nice,
Pretty cool. So I broke into that. I'm like, I've been pushing off on this, but I got to eat me some of that. I'm going to have some of that. Tear it open, grab a piece, eat it down. Yeah, bring it upstairs to share with Hillary. And I'm like, huh. And I'm like, look at this. She goes, what? And I go, there's a grub on that. And so I open up the box more, and there's some cocoons, and there's grubs in the cocoons, and there's some meshing kind of stuff all over this kind of candy. And yeah, so I got me some chocolate covered bugger toffee for my Christmas treat, and it kind of made it so not so great, but it did inspire a song, which is Grubber Toffee, you're the one. You made my candy not so fun. Oh, Grubber Toffee, you're the grubbiest toffee I know.
I gotta tell you, man. Since I've come here, we've had conversations about expulsions from your daughter's rear end.
Yeah, emergency bath.
Have emergency baths, and now conversations about grub-covered toffee.
Oh, it wasn't well, no, wait, you're right. It was grub-covered toffee. And chocolate.
Yeah.
I know, it kind of put a
sour taste in your mouth.
A pale on what I was hoping would be a delicious treat.
Yeah. Ew.
Yeah, very much ew. I wasn't going to share the part where I took a bite. I was going to, it's like,
thank you.
Peace.
I really appreciate that you did.
I was waiting that you, I'm like, I'm not going to tell Rick that part. But if he asks, I will go, yes.
No.
Yes, I did.
No, you just went ahead and shared that.
I just shared that. I'm like, I cut to the ending.
There ain't no mystery. There ain't no mystery. No mystery.
Me writing a mystery book is like, this guy did it. And then a story unfolds where you're all like, why is it still a mystery? We know who did it.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Mm-hmm. Just as a thought. I'm not going to get rid of that memory anytime soon. But the best way I think I can get rid of it is by having some alcohol. And I can't get to that alcohol unless you do the 2-sentence replay. So why don't you go ahead and do that so we can get to the alcohol?
I think we both want this 2-sentence replay to get done to get to the old booze and booze.
Yeah.
Gonna wash down that grub chocolate toffee real good. Due to a lost coin toss, Alex and Jack are racing across town by way of public transit to warn Cloak and Dagger that the Punisher is coming to get them, while Julie and Katie try to stop his battle van by throwing trash at it while flying after him, only to stop him about 100 feet away from his still unwarned quarry. But it turns out that the Punisher shooting bullets around Dagger is just his way of starting a friendly conversation, as he figured that the Kingpin was trying to trick him into getting rid of a couple of heroes that had been disrupting his drug trade, and he proves this by not shooting anyone and telling the Power Pack that he has always liked kids. Now that the actually really important part of this issue was that while everyone's favorite Power Pack pet, Yoda the hamster, was having a birthday party, Julie was teaching Cloak how to read. 2-sentence replay is over. Why don't you give me a beer and tell us what our Power Pack pick is?
My pleasure, my friend. I don't mean to tell you your business, but I think you did make a mistake in that 2-sentence replay.
When I said battle van?
Yes, it should be a battle wagon.
I know.
As my good friend Dave, who I beat on the Long Box Crusades.
Oh, don't say beat. That makes it sound like there was a competition there.
Good point. Who I trounced.
That's the word you should be looking for.
On the Long Box Crusade, doing it live. Yeah, he would prefer it being called Battle Wagon.
Yes, of course he wants it to be called Battle Wagon because Dave is a purist on the Punisher mythos.
Yes, it is.
And as everyone knows, Punisher drives a battle... What is it? Wagon?
Wagon.
Okay.
So, in
battle
honor...
station wagon? No, just a battle wagon.
In honor of the battle wagon, let's have a drink. With a very interesting choice here. And I'll have to explain this a little bit, but I'd like to introduce you to Pirate.
Rum barrel-aged coconut stout? Oh, man.
Why?
I want to drink this.
why, besides the obvious fact of it being a rum-barreled aged coconut stout, did I choose something called Pirate?
Because it's got 8% on it, and because I want to drink it. Let's see, what would it be pirate? Would it be because of the three mean girls pirating the stuffed animals and everybody's dollar bills and toys? They're really terrible pirates, but piracy they do.
They are land pirates. They are mean girl land pirates in this comic. So I was kind of searching for something along those lines, and I stopped when I saw Pirate. I said, Pirate, that's not really like, ooh, hey, wait, that's a rum barrel aged coconut stout. I can make Pirate work.
We'll tie it in. That's a great looking can on this, too. It's a great color scheme. It's red, black, and white. It is really pretty. It's just an attractive can. And story time on it is Pirate. A blend of different rum barrels makes each batch unique. Batches are blended at varying ages of rum barrel aging to create a tropical stout to be enjoyed in any season. I'm gonna drink it.
Oh, yeah. 8% ABV, 59 IBU. Like he was saying, North American pale malts, caramels, and chocolate malt. English Admiral and Fuggles hops, and it's got coconut in it. And this is by Santiam Brewing. When we talk about color, sometimes we have to just say, you know what? This is the absence of color. There is no color.
That is dark.
In fact, I think the color is eating my hand.
Yeah, that is.
There ain't nothing.
Wow, that is
nothing.
pitch. That is the night. That is Batman coloration.
Motor oil.
Yeah, that is oil. Right at the bottom of the glass, you get a little bit of light tincture coming through. That's got a nice kind of mahogany reddish brown.
I think that's more of the curve of the glass.
Maybe. I think that is that. Yeah, that is that's a black hole just warping time and coloration and light. That is wonderful looking.
It doesn't have a strong.
No, that's got barely a nose to it. It's a little.
It's like the blackness is eating your smell.
Yeah. This is so dense. It's warping smell into it as well. It does have a minor, like kind of a metallic-y kind of aroma to it.
Yeah.
But very, very minor. It's probably the coconut in there.
Yeah, it's a coconut.
Yeah, let me give it a taster.
Hello, coconut.
Hello, coconut.
That is coconut.
That is coconut.
And there's that metal, too.
Yeah. That's probably the rum.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess the metallic is kind of the rum barrel.
It's got a real bitter after.
Kind of. We've had worse. We've had much bitterer. For me, it's kind of got that like roast coconut aftertaste going on there.
Yeah. Nearly burnt.
Nearly burnt, yeah. And I think that's where you're kind of getting that kind of puckery, that kind of bitter from. Is that like near burnt coconut kind of rind kind of flavoring?
I tell you what I'm not getting. I'm not getting the rum.
No, I've got coconut, though. I love coconut.
I got lots of coconut. It is...
So I respect it for that. I'm a coconut fiend. I love me some coconut.
Pure coconut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that coconut forward is...
That coconut forward is glorious.
Wow.
But yeah, it has a very metallic, kind of rusty kind of thing. Yeah, going on with it.
This is going to be an interesting drink, though, but 8% alcohol, not bad.
Yeah.
And now the opening credits, if you please.
Power Pack, issue number 38, July 1988. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep. Credits. Writer, Juliana Jones. Little side note there, that's Wheezy's daughter. Pencil, Sal Voluto. Inks, Stan Drake. Letterers, Joe Rosen. Colors, Glennis Oliver. Editor, Carl Potts. Shepherd-in-Chief. See what they did there? Tom DeFalco. And special thanks to Don Hudson, background inker.
Featuring Power Pack. Alex Power, a.k.a. Destroyer, Energy Guy. Julie Power, a.k.a. Molecula, Mistress of Density, Density Lady. Jack Power, a.k.a. Counterweight, Gravity Boy. Katie Power, a.k.a. Starstreak, Flying Lass. And guest starring Maggie and Jim, the oblivious Power Parents. And Grandpa, that guy that these kids love more than the stuffed animals that they also love a lot.
The kids are in the kitchen. Wait, hang on. This is like the third or fourth book in a row that has the kids starting out in the kitchen. I mean, What's up with that? They never used to start the issues this way.
Oh, yeah, this makes sense. You see, the producers recently built the kitchen set, and in order to really get a return on their investment, they are trying to use the set a lot when they film these episodes.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense because... No, wait, no, it doesn't. That makes no sense at all. This is a comic book, not a TV show.
It looks like they're prepping for dinner, and with Katie carrying plates, Julie cutting up some veggies, and Alex making some Kool-Aid, and Jack awkwardly reaching for the bowl on the top of the cupboard.
We should mention that Julie is complaining that there are too many people in this quite spacious kitchen. I mean, their New York apartment kitchen is larger than my Oregon house bedroom. And I have to admit, this kind of makes me sad.
I'm sorry that you're sad. But everyone else in the scene is happy as can be, because Grandpa is coming over! Yay! And they love their Grandpa so much that they all want to be involved in making dinner for him.
Well, all good intentions and stuff aside, Jack is trying to float up and get the bowl for mashed potatoes. But Katie, being impatient and wanting to do that job instead of her own, flies up and grabs it.
Bonk.
And bumps a jar of jam, which...
Crash.
meets a sudden horizontal stop after a vertical drop.
Jack has also knocked a fork off the counter and then, let's say, accidentally kicked it, which then caused it to slide under the washing machine. Jack lifts up the appliance, but does not have enough space to reach under it and get the utensil, so Julie shrinks down and pulls it out.
Jack, being so smooth, gives her a thumbs up as a payment of appreciation with the hand he was using to hold up the washer. With no gravity power affecting it other than that of the earth, the heavy piece of home machinery comes crashing down to the floor,
Bam.
causing more of the kind of noise that attracts nearby parents.
As Maggie starts to walk towards the kitchen to find out why there are what sounds like elephants tromping around, Alex disintegrates the jam jar mess on the floor.
Why did these kids do all of these super shenanigans for situations that could have simply been solved with a chair, a ruler, and a paper towel, you might ask?
I really would not because I've read these comics, but, I'll tell you why. It's to show their powers, of course. These first 3 pages are just to set the scene that the kids have these powers, that their grandpa is over for dinner, and that they like to bicker so much that they name their team the Bickering Bunch.
Actually, they named their team Power Pack. The Bickering Bunch was a close second, though, so I could see how you were confused.
Maggie enters and ensures that the kids have not destroyed the kitchen. We also discover that Julie is making a stuffed lamb at school that she is planning to give to her grandpa for his birthday tomorrow.
Aww. And we get to see Alex leaning out of the kitchen window and shooting off a Powerball into an abandoned alley after their mom leaves. This is done in part so that he can get rid of the healthy glow that he was starting to get from disintegrating the trash and the smashed jam, and also so that we can see that he has this power as well.
Okay, newcomer introduction completed. Let's move on. The next day after school, Julie and her 2 friends, the twins Ruth and Jeannie, are walking home holding their newly finished stuffed animals. They are all very pleased with this work that they have done.
All is well in the world.
Therefore, conflict must be introduced. Enter the villains of this story, 3 mean pirate girls.
Oh, I love Mean Girls. It's such a great movie. But I didn't know they had a Marvel crossover, and I have never heard of them being described as supervillains. I mean, what's that about?
Now, I didn't say supervillains, and I didn't say mean girls. I said 3 mean pirate girls. That is it. Nothing more. And they're really not piratey. But they look 80s tough, I guess. One girl has a tank top on, and her hair is up with a sweatband. Another girl is in green fatigues, and the third is wearing sunglasses and a turban, which is a real specific sartorial choice.
Maybe they have the superpower of bad fashion sense.
Sure. Let's just run with that for now.
Jeannie ID'd them as bad news, and she is pretty accurate. After asking for $1 and not taking no for an answer, the 3 mean pirate girls begin to take the bags off of our trio of preteens.
Julie tries to use a different tactic and offers up $1, hoping that they will go away. The turban leader repays the offer with a thanks by way of a
Smack.
across Julie's face. Wow. Okay, again, we have seen these kids in superhero fights, but there's really something different about the depiction of violence against a child in civilian clothing that really makes things dark.
Even though Julie is ready to attack this bully, she realizes that she cannot expose her secret identity, which is a first. And so, these failed fashion-forward females fleece the fluffy figurines from the frightened friends, and flee.
But not before one of them shoves Ruth to the ground as she tries to take back her stuffy.
Ruth, from the ground, makes the point that the 3 of them could have taken the bullies if they had worked together, and at least she tried to do something while the other 2 just stood there, doing nothing, which makes Julie cry.
Later. Julie is moping in her room, explaining the situation to Kermit the Frog.
That is a stuffed animal, and not to be confused with the host of a popular variety show.
No, that is a street-hardened reporter known for his stinging street-level exposés during his time with the Sesame Street News Flash team.
Be that as it may, Julie is just talking to her stuffed animal, explaining how she has this great power, but that she has no courage.
Luckily, Jack walks in to lighten the mood.
Oh no.
No. This is just to inform her that she needs to get to work on the birthday cake. It is at this point that she tells Jack about the fleecing of her fluffy figurine. And Jack has an idea.
Let's go get Alex and Katie and go after those twerps.
While Julie wants to fix it herself, Jack is going for the overkill offensive. They have world-saving powers, so let's beat up some teenage delinquents. Huzzah! To be fair, Jack is really selling the team angle, and not the violence angle.
Julie, you can't try to do everything on your own. Using your own great words of wisdom, we are a team. A team, when they work and think together, are stronger than anything. We are the invincible power machine.
Don't worry, Jack. I have a plan. I'll get them.
And she pulls out the monster disguise from Power Pack 33. She is going to use it to scare the bullies.
And then?
Then what? That's her plan. That's it. Keep in mind that this plan worked on Sunspot, so it has to be a good one for this situation as well.
Sunspot? That's setting the bar pretty low there. But before Jack can tell her how stupid of an idea this is...
Ding dong!
The doorbell ringing means that Alex and Katie are back with party favors, so Jack runs to let them in. Having the impulse control of an angry Alex, Julie takes the moment to stuff the monster costume into her shirt, costume on, and then cloud out of the apartment to go seek justice.
No, not justice, but...
Revenge!
With all the anger and vengeance of a small cloud, until she finds a trio of teenage terrors picking on another little girl, Julie quickly clouds the crowd, causing confusion and the clemency of the cornered kid.
Julie follows the three mean pirate girls back to their self-proclaimed hideout, which is really just an abandoned building that they are flopping at. Julie sneaks inside and changes into the monster costume. Initially, her surprise entrance scares the girls, but then they rally and attack. And when I say they rally and attack, what I mean is that they hold back because a scary demon monster is in their flop and it might be dangerous.
Luckily for the three mean girls, though, Julie is hot and tired, and she falls down after tripping on a chair. This causes her scary demon monster outfit to fall apart, just as fast as it took her master revenge plan to. And instead of clouding up, she just costumes off and is caught after a poor attempt at witty banter.
Hi. I'm sorry. I should have called first.
Poor showing, Julie. Come on, you're better than this.
The three mean pirate girls recognize her and give her the special treatment that they reserve for all of their special pirate guests. That's stop for an unexpected visit, meaning fatigues hold her while Turban begins to slap her in the face repeatedly until...
Crack!
Alex, Katie, and Jack are standing in the doorway, and they are not in their costumes. Alex has just shot a powerball between the gaggle of gangling girls to get their attention.
Hey, thought we'd just drop by.
You were so involved, we had to get your attention somehow.
And you're being mean to our sister.
This is enough for Julie to escape, costume back on, and cloud up the room, confounding the creepy criminals and causing chaos.
Jack dives and he grabs Headband Girl, slamming her into the ground. Alex is not so lucky with his Sadie Hawkins dance partner, though. Fatigues Girl lifts the team leader up by his shirt and...
Slam!
Throws him into a wall! Alex retaliates by disintegrating a section of a bookcase, causing it to collapse upon his attacker. The Turban leader tries to head out the door, screaming that she is going to get the rest of the gang.
Wait, what? There are more bad girls? Jeez. Bad girls, what's the pack to do? What's the pack to do when they come for you?
Call Lawrence and Smith, I don't know. Anyway, Katie flies over and slams the door and locks it. Now that the girls are locked in the room with the apparent smoke and some apparently very dangerous preteens, Headband whips out a dagger and threatens that she is ready to cut some fools.
Right up until the time that Katie flies by and...
Snatch!
grabs the blade out of her hand.
The three mean pirate girls don't know it yet, but Power Pack is ready to wrap up the fight. Alex grabs a couple of laundry bags and empties them.
They're full of toys.
Yes, Dave, they are. But more importantly, they are now empty. And with a quick spin around the room, Katie pulls a bag over each girl's head while the two boys push them over. The gang quickly tie up the bags and voila, that is it.
Not quite, my friend. The kids see all the stolen toys around the room. Julie liberates the stuffed animals that were taken from her friends and the dollar that was taken from her.
Jack secures the bag, and Alex writes out a note that incriminates the girls based upon the stolen toys, and an address as to the location of the abandoned building. Jack signs it, the 4 Master Toy Savers.
Nice. Real nice. They take this and a box of toys and leave it at the front door of a police station.
Later at the power party for their pop-up, there is a lot of happiness, especially after Grandpa opens up the present from Julie.
The stuffed sheep is a big hit with him, as he grew up on a sheep farm.
Thank you all. I love it. I figured you were tired of my childhood stories. I hope it wasn't too much trouble.
Trouble? No, of course not.
Next issue, Mutants on TV.
Da-da, 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 da-da. Dun, 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 dun. It's power packaging time.
What I liked about that intro is that it gave me enough time to drink some beer.
So we like to start at the beginning because it is a very good place to start. And in this case,
Because if you started in the middle and you're like,
it just doesn't make sense.
it's like me with Buffy the Vampire. It's like, why is this guy a werewolf? Why is she dating a vampire? Who's that guy?
Because things.
Yes.
This is a very cool cover. This is one of these covers that I always remember, even if I don't always remember the story. But I remember this cover very well. It is Julie in her cloud form, except that she's very recognizable as her face and her hands. So it's just this very large blue, menacing
cloud
cloudy,
with clawing hands and distinct eyes.
And John Bogdanov and Hilary Barta, they have just drawn the heck out of this. But she's like glowering down at our 3 mean pirate girls as Turbin has got Katie down on the ground, is kind of like shaking her down on the ground. Front and center is Fatigues, and she's got Alex kind of held up by one hand and fist raised. And then you've got Headband kneeling on top of Jack, who's passed down on the ground. She's got one fist shaking.
All the kids' eyes are closed. They're all knocked out.
Yeah, and Beware Molecula, Mistress of
Vengeance.
I like this cover.
It's a great cover.
I mean, it doesn't happen
No.
like this.
No,
But
at all.
I mean, you know,
It to the point where one of the characters has the wrong skin tone.
well, yeah.
Fatigues on... now, I have noticed this. The Power Pack has done this at least 3 times with a, like, it's a African-American character on the front of the cover, and in the book, it's
not
a Caucasian person. So, yeah, on the cover of this one, Fatigues is a very dark-skinned African-American lady, and inside, she's a white lady.
Yes, there is a coloring thing there too, but it's a very cool cover.
Oh, it is a great cover.
Yeah.
It looks really neat, but it is a super lie.
Yeah, super.
Other
super
than
light.
that, these characters are in it and they are meanies, and Julie's out on the vengeance path.
No, I this is a top cover for me. This is a very good, very well drawn one, and it represents at least what the cover's about, which is an everyday kind of thing.
I love everyday kind of things. I really do.
I like it too. We see more of the kids interacting. I would have liked it a little bit more if the resolution of the book was more of a non-powery resolution somehow. Yeah. I'm not sure how to swing that per se.
I don't know.
But
yeah.
I like it when they are facing things and have to face things more on the civilian level.
Very
more
civilian, very street level kind of thing.
Level.
Yeah. And it is, especially, I like the fact, too, that it was kind of like, yeah, Julie could do damage to these people. She could take care of this, but she's in her massively civilian garb, including with the 2 twins that know her very well and would probably be like, hey, Julie, so, like, a giant cloud appeared,
and you
kind of disappeared at the same time, and then our teenage ruffian adversaries all seemed to like the cloud went away on occasion because like a very small action figure hit them and killed them or knocked them out, and then the cloud would come back, and then we have our stuffed animals, and these 3 mean pirate girls have knee divots in their heads.
There would be a lot of questions and no good answers.
Yeah, I was curious. You were behind me. I heard someone yell costumes on, and then there was a cloud, and then action figure time and clouds, and then you were back behind me, and then I saw your clothes reappear around you as like a lightning storm.
It is interesting to put this up against how Alex dealt with bullies and how Julie deals with bullies.
Yep.
And you do see a difference between the two, which is nice. It's nice to see that. Julie is definitely more of the sensitive type.
Yeah, she's more of the sensitive type.
Yeah.
She was also trying to hide her powers and everything.
Trying to hide her powers and felt bad about losing it. And, I'm a superhero. I should have done something. And I do like it. I do like it. We make jokes about the mean pirate girls.
Yeah.
And we have named them Turban, Headband, and Fatigues because those are that's their most distinguishing features.
Yeah, basically. I mean, they kind of all have like fatigue cargo pants on. One just has the like a military top on as
military
well.
blouse.
So fatigues and
But it's also one of these cases where they are fairly two-dimensional.
You would give them that many dimensions? They are mean girls who enjoy being mean because they are mean.
Yeah. We don't get they do not get fleshed out at all.
No, other than they like being mean because it makes them feel like a real man, or in this case, a woman.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they are there as chess pieces to do this one thing, and that's about it.
And they're doing this to whatever kids they can find. And what's kind of funny is when like Alex lifts up the bags of toys and everything. It's like it's just filled with toys. They have been stealing junk.
Yeah.
But there was some stacks of dollar bills in theirs too. It was like, why do you have the money in the bags as well? Unless they're like
they ain't very organized.
They're not super smart.
They would be. These girls don't have a 401k plan.
No,
they have very impulse control problems.
Yeah,
they have one mission in life, and that is to go out and beat kids up and to move the plot forward.
Yeah, and Turban loves smacking.
Yes, she
does.
loves
slapping people in the face. That's what she loves. There's like, I think, instances of like 3 or 4 slappings that she does in this issue, Rick.
I think it also is just the dialogue that they are given is very, hey, we are going to go back to our hideout.
Yes.
Nobody talks like this.
Nobody talks like that. It was just like, well, Fatigue's raised up at one point. She's all like, hey, why'd we keep hassling that girl? She literally had no money. Yeah. And Turban's all like, I can't remember exactly, but it was like,
I feel like I have power when I see their terrified expressions.
Yeah.
Okay,
and Headband's all like, yeah, all right.
She's on her way to becoming Lex Luthor type supervillain.
Yeah, and poor. And not smart.
Yeah.
And lots of things. No, I can understand that. It's very much, you can give each of these girls a tragic backstory, and you can be like, you know what? She's paying forward the pain that she has felt from her youth or from her family, or, just a touch, like bad stepdad or whatever. It's just like she's paying forward pain that has been delivered on her. However, it's just,
I think that
it's dialogue in a comic to say, I'm a bad person here. Sure. Look at me be bad. Don't feel bad if something bad happens to me because it's bad.
I like this. I do like this. It is, it's a first attempt at that Julia Jones has done.
Yeah.
There are definitely some rough edges around there.
There are.
But it's as far as a first attempt on a comic book, first attempt to tell a story, it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I know that she's written this and a couple more issues of Power Pack, but she hasn't done anything else besides this. So this was this is it of her comic writing career. I think she does have the kids' voices very well.
Yes, even some of the kids' dialogue's a little bit stilted, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
We have read, I think, much worse.
Yeah. Whereas two-dimensional as the mean pirate girls are, they are a bit tougher than Sunspot because they took Julie out faster than Sunspot did.
They took Julie out with a chair, a well-placed chair. They know a power's weakness. It's a chair.
We are making fun of Sunspot. I like Sunspot, but we make fun of him so badly.
Well, if your only exposure to Sunspot was the issue that we saw him in with Power Pack, yeah, you're going to make fun of him because he was just a mopey melodrama, just incompetent.
Melodrama to the max.
Just incompetent with what he was doing, whereas it's like, oh, so is this like a joke character kind of thing? If that was your only exposure to him, you would be like, yeah, no way is this anybody's favorite character.
Although you read some of the current New Mutants, he's not mopey or melodramatic, but he is actually coming off as a fascinatingly oblivious blowhard.
Okay.
It is amazing. It is great. Yeah, the new run of New Mutants, it's fantastic. Most of the Donovan stuff is.
Okay.
Read it. Anyways, that's all I got to say. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up as far as the themes?
I thought it was interesting that, it was like they tied in a bit of their granddad's history that we had never heard about, tying it into kind of the stuffed animals and making this like, oh yeah, this ties directly into like stories they would hear. We don't know about them. It was like the Strange Tales Yoda the hamster birthday party kind of thing, where it's just like
a little farther out, though.
Yeah.
I once again they have brought Grandpa in as kind of a character to have in a meanwhile book. Here's something else the kids are doing, and there's Grandpa.
Yeah, I am great with the slice of life. I'm great with the family stuff. In fact, I think I was having a little conversation with Tim Price, the Pod Crasher. But yeah, we were just saying he was talking about how much he loved kind of like the Fantastic Four goes to the Powers house, and they're just kind of having discussions. I'm like, I would just dig on an entire issue of just the Richards and the Powers hanging out.
Yeah.
Superpowers can be had, but no villains, just like a complete, just like a day in the life of, or like it could be the front half is like hanging at the Powers house, and the second half could be like the next day or next week hanging out over at the Richards house, kind of thing. I would love to see something like that exist.
My Dinner with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, My Dinner with the Fantastic Four.
All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about a library card. We like to try to discover the etymology of literature, and I could not pass up this opportunity to delve into the very popular rhyme, Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep, because it's a title. So, Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep, and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, wagging, bringing their tails behind them. So the earliest record of this rhyme is a manuscript around 1805, which contains only the first verse. Prior to that, there were different uses of similar phrases. In the 14th century, play bo peep was a euphemism for being stuck in a pillory. One of those stocks where your heads and arms are locked in. They're usually used in town squares as a mean to embarrass or punish local people. It's the kind of thing I do to Jeff all the time when I leave the house. I put him in a pillory, and Hillary and his daughter just kind of mock and laugh at him. Anyways, I'm off topic.
Everyone I know is mean.
By the 16th century, it was toned down and brought closer to the rhyme. Shakespeare's King Lear used it as a term for game, not unlike peekaboo, which is another thing that, when we put Jeff in the pillory stock, then his daughter likes to play peekaboo with him. Again, it embarrasses him. The rhyme itself is a morality tale. It describes the consequences of what happens when you fail in your responsibility, thus, Jeff being locked in the pillory blocks. In the extended rhyme, Little Bo Peep, she falls asleep while watching the sheep. They run off, and she must find them. She does, but they're all missing their tails. So after she finds those later, she has to try and match the tails to the lambs. Which, let me tell you, that's a pain. I really have no clue how that works because I've never really worked on a farm, but I'm guessing it's a pain. Of course, this has to have a bit of a parallel to our story. Julie feels that she has failed in her duty as a superhero by having her and her friend's stuffed animals taken, so she has to go out and try to find them. So when she does, she also finds the toys taken, and instead of trying to match up the toys to the kids that, they're taken, Power Pack just dumps it on the police to take care of, because that's the way they roll. It's also the way that Jeff rolls, too, which is, again, a reason I put him in the pillory when I leave the house. But every now and again, after I put Jeff in that pillory, he does find a way to get out. And I am guessing that he uses science.
I do. I really do. Also, the fact that you are not only a terrible shot, but also terrible at locks. Can't be good at everything. In this issue, we had a big plot point about Julie's stuffed animal that she spent 2 months making, getting stolen from her by 3 mean pirate girls. So this got me thinking, how do you make a simple stuffed animal? It turns out, like this. First, choose a fabric for your stuffed animal. You can go with a realistic coloring like browns and grays, or pick a fun pattern like polka dots. Keep in mind that some types of fabric are easier to work with than others. Next, pick an animal. Before you begin creating your pattern, you'll want to decide what animal you want to create. As you are brainstorming, try to choose an animal that has a distinct shape and a simple silhouette. Then, make your pattern. For this simple project, feel free to use any type of paper that you have on hand. Since you will only have 2 pieces of fabric to connect, your pattern is basically just a simple template for cutting those pieces out. After that, prepare your fabric. After you've made your pattern, you'll need to transfer it onto your fabric. Make sure the fabric you're using is ironed or steamed and free from creases. This will make it much easier to work with. Next, pin your fabric together. Before you begin to sew your animal, you'll want to use straight sewing pins to pin your 2 pieces of fabric to each other. This ensures your fabric pieces stay lined up correctly as you begin to sew. And speaking of sewing, it's time to sew your sides. You can make your homemade stuffed animal either with a sewing machine or with basic hand stitching. Before you begin to sew, thread a needle and knot the end of your thread. Use thread that is the same color as your fabric, or use a contrasting color for decoration. Then, turn your animal inside out. Using the hole that you left unsewn, pull your fabric through and turn it inside out. It may take a bit of work to pull all the fabric through your hole. Next, stuff your animal. Once you turn your fabric, you'll need to begin filling your animal. You'll want to make sure that it is full, but there is no strain on the stitching. You can find stuffing at local craft stores. Now it's time to close up your hole. After you've stuffed your animal, you'll want to sew up the small hole you used in putting in the stuffing. Doing this should not take very much thread. Use the same thread that you used for the perimeter of your animal. Finally, embellish your creature. Once you finish sewing your stuffed animal, you can add more character with various kinds of decorations. These will make your animal come alive. Feel free to use items you have on hand or pick up some decorations at a craft store. So, that's how you make a stuffed animal. But there is an addendum to this as well. If you decided to skip all the hassle of making an animal yourself and just decided to go to Build-A-Bear, the final step is to go up to the register, turn your wallet upside down, and then shake it till all the money comes out. And that's Science Corner.
Thank you, Jeff. That was very educational. Power thoughts, my friend. Let's talk about the refrigerator gallery, where we could get a very big magnet and stick your new stuffed animal against it.
Yes.
But we're not going to do that. We're going to stick pieces of art up there.
Okay, I like
And we're
art.
going to start off with the award for the funniest.
Yeah.
The funniest artwork.
Our funny funnies. Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Let's go to page 22 on our Bible.
And it was said upon that day that thine shall feast thine eyes upon humorous art.
The toughest gang on the block. And this would be Jack and Alex and Katie. Jack is in a bit of a, I'm going to attack pose.
Yeah.
Alex is leaning ever so casually up against the door with a steaming fist.
He's so smug.
And you have Katie, who's doing just the hands on hips, leaning forward. Yeah.
Not even that. She's just telling him off. That is
Yeah.
a telling off stance and face.
So that's the toughest gang
Yeah.
on the block. West Side Story represents. Sorry, Upper West Side represents.
Alex just cracks me up in this because he's just so pleased with himself because he shot a Powerball and got the attention of girls when they're like, oh, we had to put so much effort into getting their attention. You could have just clapped or said a hum or anything. But
And then you would still have like a fireball. Do something with it.
yeah, exactly.
What do you got, my friend?
My joke backup one is on page 3, and I call it The Many Accusing Hands of Julie Power. And this is in the middle left. You just figured it out. This is in the middle left of the page, and it's a tiny little panel, and it has Jack degrabbing the washing machine to lift it up to get the fork, and it has a shrinking Julie going into her costume, just pointing accusatory fingers at Jack. Like, what are you doing? In fact, she even says, well, earlier she was like, what are you doing? And right now she's like, here, maybe I can help. Costume on. But it's just all these fingers just pointing as she shrinks, and they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different little silhouettes of her going down and shrinking down to her tiny Julie self.
That's very cute.
It is super cute. But I just thought it was funny because it's all these pointing.
I like it. That's nice.
Well, what's your main joke one? What's your
My
first
main
place joke?
ha-ha one is on page 16, and I call this one, By the Power of Cloud Skull!
This is ridiculous.
And it's Julie as she's getting ready to enact her
Revenge!
And she is costuming on, but she has like one hand up, kind of like she's holding a sword. She could be holding a sword in her hand. She's looking up, and she's just posed all dramatically.
Yeah.
And there's this magic swirling as her costuming is going on around her, and it's in the background. It's all these rays of light, and she is calling down the power of Cloud Skull to crush her enemies.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, there's a lot of occasionally a lot of awkward posing that the kids do, kind of dependent upon the artist and stuff. And this is very much,
I don't want to call it awkward posing. She's being very dramatic about what she's going to do.
Hyper dramatic in her actions. Yep. That's a good choice, though. That's pretty cool.
What do you got for your top one?
My top joke one is on page 25, and I call it, You Get a Toy, and You Get a Toy, and You Get a Toy. this is a bottom left-hand panel, and this is when Alex has lifted up the laundry bags that they're going to tie the mean pirate girls up with, and it's just toys and dollar bills falling out of it. Basically, just lots and lots of toys and yo-yos and stuff, and stuffed animals, and it's just like, that's great.
But Alex has got a look on his face like,
Yeah, it's like he hit the treasure trove. Yeah, he just hit the jackpot on a slot machine or something. He's just super happy with himself. And so, you get a toy.
All right. That is our awards for the ha-ha. Mm-hmm. Now let's go to the awards for the best of the best.
Yeah, what's the good art we got?
Because these are the best around, and nothing is going to keep this art down.
Yeah.
So, for my backup one...
It's the best art around.
Nothing's going to keep this art down. So, I am going to go to page 27, and I call this, That's Fast.
That's a good one.
And this one is just following up what we just talked about with the bags being emptied, because Katie gets them, and she's plop them onto plop the mean plop pirate girls' heads.
Yep.
And so it's one scene, and you see like Jack tripping the girls with his degrav, and Alex is pushing them, and Julie's going around with cloud form, but you see Katie kind of in 3 spots at once as her rainbow trail like is showing her dropping these bags on these 3 girls' heads.
It is great.
It's pretty cool looking.
That's a good
It's
one.
an interesting way of moving the characters throughout.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now, that's a good choice.
How about you, sir?
My backup favorite one is on page 19, and I call it Demon Monster on the Attack. And this is a bottom right-hand panel. And it is when Julie, as the demon monster, is tripping on the chair and falling down, and her costume is just falling to flinders.
Yeah.
Now, this could easily be a very big joke one, but I just really like how they caught all the action in there. With you can tell like the mean girls are like both scared but kind of ready to defend themselves, but just seeing that costume fall apart, I'm like, that's wonderful.
There's movement. There's the action of her hitting the chair, the bonk, the costume falling apart. There's a lot of things going on in there that's really good and really kind of very well composed.
Yes.
So yeah, I got you on that one.
So I find that both as funny but also as just awesome.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's not funny, and that's what I got on page 9.
Oh, okay. I'm on a page 9 as well for my first one. I'm curious to see what you chose.
I don't know if we were going to choose different ones on this one, but mine is the top one.
Mine is the top one as well.
Smack.
That is a great name for it. Why did you call it Smack?
Because it's right there. It's a smack. It's the action and the sound effect of the girl backhanding Julie, and Julie's head whipping around, and you see the pain and pressure on her face. You see the kind of explosion of the action of it hitting her face.
Yeah, you also have the sheep, the stuffed animal sheep
stuffed animal
just
sheep
flying away. Also, what I really like about that is you see, the hand that was smacking. It's a very Kirby hand at this stage because it's big.
Yeah.
It's like, it's closer to the camera, so it's really, really large. And it's not crazy large, but it is larger than it normally should be. Yeah, I love this panel, and I named this one because it will make Rick angry.
And yet I chose it.
Yet you chose it.
I chose it. I ruined your joke.
No, you didn't.
I ruined your joke.
No, you didn't. That's still amazing and wonderful, and I love it. Because I was like, hey, how many smacks are in this one? There's like 3 or 4.
You could have done one for each.
I could have. I have in the past, but I chose not to. I held off on this one.
This is a different...
Yeah, because I thought this was actually really good art, but also I'm like, I can tease Rick with it. But Rick teased us both. He absorbed the joke and said, no, it's my joke now.
You're right. I absorbed the joke. I did not bounce it back on you. But that's what we're going to do now.
We're doing
when we
rubber
talk
and
about
glue?
Rubber glue moments. Yeah. What was the best or most childish insult? Sir, why don't you go first with your backup?
Okay. My backup rubber and glue moment is on page 1, and this is when everybody's trying to help in the kitchen to get the meal going, but Julie's doing the majority of the work, and she's complaining that there's too many people here, and she's just like, why don't you guys just go away and I can do it myself? And everybody's like, we want to help, and Alex is all like, yeah, if we work together, we'll get it done faster. And Julie's response is, but it won't get done right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
I love that.
It's the subtle there's an implied insult there.
There is an effect. The font on that I think is just a wee little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller. So that was kind of Julie said that kind of under her breath. Okay.
Speaking of that, if we go a couple pages forward. Where she has finally lost her temper. This is after she has gotten the fork out from underneath the washing machine, and Jack has dropped the washing machine, and there's a big bam, and Mom from outside, what's going on in there? And Julie says, "You nincompoop." Mom heard. Costumes off.
Yep.
Nincompoop.
Pretty fantastic.
Pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
pretty fantastic.
Round of golf claps.
Round of golf claps on that one. Yes, I like a good nincompoop.
Nincompoop is a good one. It really is.
What is your top one?
My top one is on page 6, and it is actually Jeannie who says it. This is they're talking about, their class and their sewing and everything, and Julie's all like, I had it. The boy's calling me Bo Peep. And her sister Ruth saying, honestly, men can be so rotten. But Jeannie takes the cake when she's all, the guys in our class, men? Yeah, you go, Jeannie.
Yeah. She ain't wrong.
She ain't wrong.
Men suck.
Men can be of the vacuum set.
Seriously, you just have to ask our wives.
Sometime I do dishes.
You better believe it.
Heck yeah.
I want to move to page 17.
Okay. All right. So what's your favorite insult on page 17, Rick?
The bottom panel, the three mean pirate girls are arguing. And Headband kind of ends all this fighting that's going on because they were caught up in a cloud and they lost the girl they were picking on. She ends this by saying, "You big blockhead."
You big blockhead.
I gotta go with the Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Whenever possible. It gets a high vote for me. You big blockhead. So, yes, there we go. Now, let us move to Stars and Detention.
And that's where we say who we think the best kid and the worst kid is.
Yep.
So, as always, let's start with the worst kid. Rick?
And can you guess who mine's going to be? Because
is it going to be Alex?
It's going to be Alex.
Mine is Alex, too.
It's going to be Alex.
Although I have to admit, I was really tempted on Julie. Just because I don't want to, victim blame, but she did a handful of stuff that really annoyed me.
Yeah, I can get that. So it'd be interesting to see who we pick for our best.
Yeah.
I'm saying Alex.
Yeah.
He kept on using his powers in ways that shows he has powers when he was trying to hide them. He used them blatantly in front of the girls when they came in the room. That was silly.
Well, I think Headband was like, who threw that firecracker?
Right.
But he was just smugly looking.
Yeah,
he's kind of the steamy hand and everything.
It's just like, he was not good in this one.
He was not really good. He was also, it's kind of like earlier I'd said where Julie's like, you guys need to get out of the kitchen. And he's like, no, teamwork makes it all work better. And she's like, it really doesn't in this case. So and it was like, oh, they break a jam jar. Hey, Alex, disintegrate that real quick. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Dude, just do it or wipe it up. This is not a big deal. And yeah, he bounced back and forth between being a little pointlessly smug, not super helpful, and also not really doing anything.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not our hero of this story.
No.
But let's talk about who our hero of this story is.
Yeah. Who'd you like for your hero? I'm gonna guess.
I want
to guess that we got the same person.
I'm going to go with Julie.
Oh, okay. Then we did not.
But I could have gone with Jack.
Yes, that's who I chose.
Yeah. As I'm sitting here, I'm actually kind of going back and forth in my head about if I want to change my choice or not. But I wrote down Julie, so I'm going to go with Julie.
This one was a little tricky for me. I think the bad kid was worse for me because I was like, argh. And the good one was like, Julie did a lot, but also Jack.
Jack came in with some really good advice and stuff, but I kind of had to lean forward on Julie on this one because she was trying to solve the problem herself, and she could have brought her teammates with her. I mean, especially since they got Alex on this one in the past too. Yeah. But I mean, she wasn't going down. I don't know. I'm really wishy-washy on this one. I kind of like Julie in this one. I think I gave it to her because it was a Julie-centric episode.
I could totally see that.
But
again, Julie also did a lot of good stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff.
That's why I said kind of my bad kid, but not quite. Kind of my good kid.
But I think I can definitely go with Jack, and I go ahead and explain Jack for your reasons. But I think I probably agree with all of them.
Yeah. I'd like doing his voice.
Okay, so the reason why I think that Jack would actually be a good one, even though my choice was Julie, would be because he came in there and was trying to sell the teamwork to Julie. Let's get together, let's get the guys together, we'll go and take care of this.
Yep.
He did a really good job in the fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was really using his power well in the
and
fight.
He was just tripping kids up and everything. Yeah. He was 100% in this. He was why are you degrabbing? He's like, I got to get the bowl. He's like, okay, well, everything he was doing was very much just like doing this for the family, doing this for the team, talking to Julie. I'm going on a vengeance trail. He's like, let's gather up the family.
The interesting thing, I think I gotta say, I think I like the relationship between Julie and Jack, I like their relationship because I've seen their relationship be, they'll get on each other's nerves sometimes, but I think that there's a closer relationship there than a lot of the other combinations that occur.
Yeah, I could see that. I really could see that.
And I know a couple of the other books coming up too.
They're like age peers kind of too.
They're age peers too, but it's just like they know each other. They are able to kind of figure each other out pretty well too. So we're still going to do G-Force.
Yep, until Wheezy's off the writing talent. Yeah.
So what do we got for the G-Force?
We'll do that real quick. We have 0 Gs. You could find that in this issue because there weren't none. You could also find 0 Gs in the mean pirate girls' pockets because they had to keep on shaking down tiny kids for dollar bills.
Nice.
That gives us a G average that is continually plummeting, and that is at 0.82, and that is 0.02 off the surface gravity of Uranus, which again is the 7th planet from the sun. And our G total is sticking at 31, which is 3 gravities higher than the surface gravity of our sun.
There we go. Now we want to rank this bad boy. We have a list of 42 stories, and it ends with X Factor Annual number 2, and it starts with Power Pack number 25, Power Trip. Where are we putting this one here?
I keep kind of, start at the middle, see where you think, because starting at the top, I keep on kind of we're sliding down.
I would say let's take a look at the last issue, Power Pack number 37. That's where the kids meet Rebecca.
Real close to that, I was thinking, well, we mentioned Sunspot in this one. We can talk about that.
Special effects.
Yeah, which was just right above Seeing the Light. So yeah.
I think I kind of like special effects a little bit more. I mean, the protagonists to that story were a lot more fleshed out than this one. Seeing the Light, I think it's around that level. For being a very simple story, there was a lot in here. No, this one has some more meat in it.
Yeah,
I think it flowed a little bit better than
This is easy. Let's just say that it is the new number 32 where Seeing the Light was. Do you want to do that?
I think so.
Because since you like special effects better and you're thinking this has a little bit more meat than Seeing the Light. So it's easy. Let's just slap it right in between the two.
I think I'm fine with that. I think that's a good place for it. We'll call that good.
Okay, so Seeing the Light slips down to rank 33, and Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep. Issue number 38 is the new number 32 in our who cares ranking system. We care.
And all of our fans care, right? Please write us in and tell us that you care.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Give us your own, put a lot of work into making your own lists up, and then do like a Twitter battle over it or something.
Tell us if we're right and wrong on this ranking. We want to know. All right. We can talk about one thing that is completely our opinion, and that's going to be our beer. So let's talk about our final thoughts on this beer. What do we think about this beer? How does it fit with the comic book? Well, it's a pirate beer, and it's about a bunch of mean girls, and this is a very mean beer. This beer has a very strong coconut, which the longer it goes on is turning into a lot of bitter in my mouth.
It's not, again, I don't see it as super bitter. I just see it as like just kind of rusty, kind of just like a dusty, kind of rusty, kind of like you've been out hiking and you've been eating trail dirt all day long kind of thing.
It's like I've been licking rust. I'm not getting as much of the coconut anymore.
It warming up. The smell is still really mild of kind of nothing, so probably just the cooked coconut.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm going to say that this one here is, I'm not enjoying it as much as I started to.
Yeah. The words at the beginning were like, yeah, and then you taste it and you're like, yeah, yeah.
Then it goes downhill.
Yeah, it keeps on. Throughout the episode, me and Rick have been kind of like taking some sips, and we've been like, I'm of mixed thoughts.
Yeah. Not enjoying this one as much. I think I've probably come down to about a 2 on this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It starts off nice, but then I'm struggling here.
I'm still getting some coconut out of it, but it does really fade. I don't know if it's just the tongue getting used to that flavor. But yeah, it's weird because the front flavor is decreasing while the back flavor is increasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that rusty kind of musty kind of after just is creeping farther and farther forward.
Yeah, I'm that's where I'm leaning on this
2
one.
For you?
2 for me.
I'm not that bad with it, but it's still not great. 2.5.
All right.
Yeah, right in the middle. Just kind of,
so sorry
I'll
about
drink
that.
it,
Sorry
but
about that. I mean, I was hoping for a real good one because I like the idea behind it, but to each his own taste, flavor. Maybe you enjoy it.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't live up to its potential. Me and Rick, the beer's parents, hoped for so much more.
It failed us.
Yeah. I mean,
failed us.
we still love it because it's beer, which makes it family. But so much potential.
You know who doesn't fail us, though?
Who?
My daughter.
You're right. Carrie never fails us.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, how could she come in and just make this so much better now that we've gotten out of the way of this beer? Wait, I know. You could spend some time talking to her, which parents should do with their child.
Yes.
And see what she thought about this issue in a segment we call Kids Perspective. So, Rick and Carrie, perspective us.
Hello, Carrie.
Hello, Daddy.
How are you today?
Good, as long as you're here.
Aw, shucks. You're way too nice.
Really?
Yes. We're here to talk about another comic book, another Power Pack comic book. This time it's a Julie story, right?
Yeah, and I just noticed something on the sticker. It said 38 Jewel, and it sounds sort of like Julie.
Nice. It's supposed to be July. That's
know.
the cover date. But yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. So tell me kind of briefly what happens in this.
3 mean kids have stolen stuff, and Power Pack went out to fight them?
Yeah, that's about right. We called them 3 mean pirate girls. Don't ask. So, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I like it.
Why?
I like how in the end they actually they left out like that big box in a sign to give to anybody else.
To try to give the toys back, or
Yeah.
to try to get them back to where they belong.
Yeah.
The kids did something nice. They stopped some mean girls and they tried to return the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about how Julie went after the mean girls by herself?
Not a good idea, especially without her siblings knowing.
Yeah, she should have brought her siblings along, right?
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite part about the book?
I guess I like it when they're all working together
To stop the bad girls?
to stop the bad girls. I also like the part in the end when it's the grandpa's birthday.
Oh yeah, you like that part?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's nice?
Yeah.
You like nice things like that, don't you?
Yeah.
What about the cover? You really had reaction when you saw the cover, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a dark issue.
Because Julie's all "Arr" in front, right?
Yeah, she's all dark and the 3 mean girls are like actually really torturing the other siblings.
Yeah, I can see how it looks really, really dark. And yet at the same time, it's just a nice little everyday story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So let's just say the cover is definitely not suiting for this one.
But it kind of is representative about when how the girls pick on other people and how Power Pack goes to stop them, right?
Yeah.
And it's very much a Julie issue, right?
That's why she's so big.
Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
What does it say? Beware, Molecula, Mistress of Vengeance?
Because they're trying to sell the book, and it's kind of that sensationalized cover that's trying to sell what's inside more than what actually happens. Besides, she is going after vengeance, isn't she?
Yeah.
They stole her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The kid should have been beware, right?
Yeah.
The kid should beware. Anything else you want to say?
No.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Carrie.
You're welcome, Daddy.
I love you.
Love you too.
Shout out time. The quietest shout out ever.
This is for episode 47, issue number 36, titled The 12th, featuring Matt Lazarus from WMQ Comics Podcast,
AJ.
Al Sedano and Resurrections, an Adam Warlock and Thanos podcast,
The Art Classroom.
CH0,
Charlie Rose.
Chris Reeves, hey Soup,
David Adler.
Dog Welder 2099, who kicked off his Monday with a train journey, our podcast, and a giant mutant hunting robot. That's the best way. Oh my god, that's frightening.
Yeah, that is a terrible, terrible way to have a day. A train journey? Ugh. Edgar Aguirre.
Fozzie,
Gary Key.
Gibson Gray.
Green Lantern HG, who thought that Carrie was the best part of the show.
We do too.
Yeah, really. We just ride her coattails.
Hal Jordan,
Jeff Polier.
Jeffrey Brown,
Jeremy Klein.
Jeremy Daw. This is one of his favorite issues. He felt that Boggs art is at the apex on this issue. He also mentioned that the children talking over speech seemed very real to him.
Speaking of the man, John Bogdanov himself liked our post about the comic and shared a picture of his son dressed up as Tattletale.
It was awesome.
It was super awesome.
Katie Pride, the owner of Books with Pictures, one of Portland's best comic book shops.
Keith Baker.
Kim Ellis.
Limax 7.
Delvin and Jared from the Long Box Crusade, winner of the 2019 Golden Typewriter Award.
Matt Lazarowitz, the giant robot himself. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for voicing Master Mold. We hope you had fun. We did.
And apparently they said that he did such a great job, they thought he would also do a good job with Mephisto, which Tim Price is our Mephisto. So we've decided that Tim Price is going to do Mephisto, and he's going to do Lucifer Morningstar, so that they could do a Dueling Devils podcast, which we're going to make this happen now. Matthew Fenner.
Max Traver.
Michael Nierowitz.
Mikhail McCann.
Mr. Rogers Core.
Old Comics.
Professor Frenzy. It's a show.
Ramon.
Reggie Yang.
Sailor Bear Zodar.
Sean in the Secret Wars and Beyond podcast.
Tim Price, the irredeemable podcrasher.
Waffles the Magic Dog, who said, awesome. And they love the bloopers at the end of our episode. Oh, that's going to be a blooper.
WMQ Comics.
And Colin Stapleton and the worst comic podcast ever. Be sure to check out our other shows that we're on. Specifically, our Junior Agent submissions on MI6 Rookie Agent episodes of On Her Majesty's Secret Podcast.
And we have some merchandise available on Redbubble. Go to redbubble.com and search for Unpacking the Power of Power Pack.
Jeff and Rick Presents is a bi-weekly self-produced podcast recorded in front of a live studio audience of a drum and a shaker thing and another shaking thing.
It's tambourine, a shaky egg, and a floor tom.
Quiet you. In Portland, Oregon. If you would like to interact with us through the magic of the internets, you can do so through Twitter at Jeff and Rick Presents, our Facebook page, Jeff and Rick Present, our email address, Jeff and Rick Present, all one word, at gmail.com, at our website, jeffandrickpresent.wordpress.com, or you can send us signals through your TomTom. Also, we have a YouTube channel at Jeff and Rick Present.
And if you would like to help support our show, we are on Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com, Jeff and Rick Present. All one word. We are a proud supporter of the Hero Initiative, and we will be donating 10% of our Patreon donations to this great cause. We encourage everyone to give what they can to this worthwhile organization that helps the creators who provide us with such great content. Go to heroinitiative.org to find out more.
Please rate and review us wherever you can, tell your friends about us, or share your love for us on social media.
And as always, we want to thank the powerful people in our packs.
My wife Cindy and our daughter Carrie.
My fiancée Hillary and our daughter Aurora.
We love you.
Until next time,
Costumes off. Our theme music is 80s Action. Also featured in this episode is Movement Proposition. All music is by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. I'm gonna leave the gun and take the cannoli.
So you have no clue what that came from, huh?
Crash.
Let's talk.
Oh, that's it. It's my
yeah,
hand.
that's you.
And now.
Actually, do that again because I was talking over you.
And
Just
now.
like I just did right there.
And
Just like I did right there.
Now.
Crash.
Alex disintegrates the Jar Jar. Alex disintegrates Jar Jar, and there was much rejoicing from the Star Wars community.
Well, it depends. Some Star Wars fans appreciate it.
Quiet
and enjoy. I mean, not me. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying some.
Crash.
Alex distinguishes
The Jam Jaw.
Alex distinguishes that Jar Jar sucks.
Yes. You, sir. You, Jam Jaw. I elevate you to knighthood. You're really, really great. And you, Jar Jar. I lower you down to the status of broken Jam Jar.
Crash.
Julie tries to use a different tactic and offers to buck up the person. Julie
Going. A turban is an excellent fashion choice. And with that top, magnifique.
Crash.
Alex?
I do this.
Okay.
I do it.
All
Jeez.
All right, you just have words.
Crash.
Music.